UI Goku is dead. Unless... What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, bringing you some more Dragon Ball FighterZ. But today we're not playing matches, we're going over the patch notes. And I know I'm a little bit late on this, but honestly, there's a lot going on when it comes to DBFZ and a lot I want to talk about. And I feel like I've kind of fallen behind. So I think we should catch back up. And I think the first thing that we want to go over are the patch notes that were revealed to us during the Dragon Ball FighterZ, or during the Dragon Ball game show the other day. We got the reveal of Gogeta, the release date, who is actually out playable as of right now if you're on Xbox or PC, and will be releasing tomorrow on PlayStation. But yeah, there's a lot going on, but I know y'all have been waiting to hear me talk about and probably laugh about the changes to UI Goku, Kid Buu, GT Goku. There's some 21 Beerus and Super Beerus stuff, but let's just get right into it. I'm already behind as it is. Let's just get straight into the meat potatoes, right? Some Z assists have been changed. We don't really care about that. Whatever. Fixed an issue in which pre-attack effects or some Z assists will remain on screen under certain conditions. Blah. Bug fix. The affected Z assists are as follows: Goku Super Saiyan A, Yamcha B, Tien A, Cell A, Goku Black A, Goku C. You've probably seen this one before. Like, is most notably and notoriously been with Yamcha's B assist, his beam, where he would stay on screen and like do this weird little glitch bug thing. Yeah, that's been fixed. Big deal. Ultra Instinct Goku. Now here's the thing, right? I said time and time again that I hated this character. I feel like he's a dipshit character for dipshit players. You just do whatever dumbass thing comes to mind with him, and it tends to work out, especially online. However, I've also always said that I did not wish for him to be nerfed, or that I wasn't asking for him to be nerfed, but if he died, I wouldn't care. And that has continued to be how I feel, because it's not like he's unbeatable. It's not like there wasn't counterplays to this character, but he was really obnoxious and really annoying. And I think we all expected him to get nerfed, and when you know it, he finally did. And let's go through it right now. So the first nerf on the list is the crouching heavy attack. He has increased recovery on his crouching heavy attack, which is his 2H. I think that's a pretty fair nerf. And I think for all of these nerfs, they don't actually murder the character. I'm gonna go ahead and say that now. I think UI Goku is going to fall from grace and isn't going to be as popular and as common, but I think in the hands of, you know, people who actually have a brain, he's still going to be a very top tier character and still very strong. I think he's just been normalized. I think that's the word that sums up his changes the most, is normalized. Better than nerfed. But yeah, so crouching heavy attack, he has increased recovery on his 2H. You can't just keep throwing it out, spamming it willy-nilly and canceling it into shit and just being like, just being safe, just constantly, just like, you can actually get punished a little bit now, which you could get punished before, but like it was a lot harder, but now it's just going to be a little bit easier. All right, so boom, I think that's pretty fair. Unrestrained Will. The wake up DP option he has when you hold Dragon Rush. I feel like this move was way too fast, I'm not gonna lie. I also still think it's really dumb that he's able to use this off of like any like interaction. Like if you drop your combo, he can do it. If you knock him down, he can do it. Level 1, level 3, doesn't matter. Soft knockdown, hard knockdown, sliding knockdown, he can always use that move. I think that's really dumb. I think it's incredibly stupid that that is even in the game in the first place. On top of that, while it is 2Hable on its startup, and if you block it, you can punish it, and if he vanishes, you can 2H it, he can cancel it into supers. One of those supers being a counter super. I'm just like, bro, this shit is dumb. And on top of all that, it's super fast. It's like, yeah, you can 2H it, but how many of you guys are actually 2Hing that online? Almost none of you. I can never do it. That's for damn sure. I usually try to block it. And then once I block it, I very rarely punish it properly, but it is what it is. That being said, they increase the startup and landing recovery, making it easier to punish. He still has access to all the other things. He can still cancel into supers. He can still vanish from it, all that shit. But now it's just slightly easier to punish, which I think is pretty fair. But of course, I'm going to be biased because fuck UI Goku. But hey, rot. I don't care. Embodied Light. Reduce the horizontal range of the grounded version of Embodied Light. This is his 2 and 4H move. You know, the EX sneeze. That's usually what I call it, where it sparkles all over you, right? The 4-frame reversal that catches backdash. Yeah, they decrease the horizontal range of that move, meaning that it no longer catches backdash, which means that I get to be a scrub again, because I know I'm good for backdashing in, like, let's say like a post-vanish situation. Let's say UI Goku vanishes on me, he's now +2. If you try to backdash when he's +2 like that, it'll catch your backdash. Or even if you're the one who's plus, but you back off because like he's gonna do something stupid, it catches your backdash. So that doesn't happen anymore. Again, still a 4-frame reversal, still can do it out of flips and shit, so that's all the RPS and whatever. Still a really good move, still is the exact same in the air, but little less range. Still gonna be able to use it off super dash, still gonna be used out of flips, everything else still a 4-frame reversal, just slightly toned down. I think he's just been slightly toned down. Then next we have Godly Strike. Increase damage scaling on Godly Strike and reduce its damage when there is no camera effect. So Godly Strike, this is 2 and 4L. You know, the flip that's +4 on block. Now, I've heard some people compare this to like Bardock Tyrant Lancer or Base Vegeta Light Rocket Kick, but here's the thing, right? This is a move that was +4 on block, also gives sliding knockdown, beats all lows, and gave you a medium scale combo, if I didn't say that already, right? So here's the thing, right? I've seen people try to compare this to Base Vegeta Rocket Kick. Sure, Base Vegeta Rocket Kick is really fast, it's safe on block, and it gives you a medium scale combo. However, it's a lot easier to mash through that. And it's also not plus on block, it's just safe. That's a really big difference. The difference between +4 and -5, to me, is a pretty big deal. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's kind of a lot. I think that's kind of a lot. Also, when it comes to like Bardock Tyrant Lancer, right? Sure, Bardock Tyrant Lancer can catch people mashing, but it's way slower and a lot easier to mash out of. It's like it's a lot more telegraphable than it's a lot more telegraphable, a lot more telegraph. That makes sense. It's easier to react to that and punish it as opposed to dealing with all the RPS situations that come out of UI Goku doing his flip, right? And also it doesn't give you sliding knockdown. Like, yeah, it gives you medium scale combo. It is also +4 on block. But if I mash 2L or 2M when Bardock's doing that, I'll probably hit him out of it. If I mash 2L or 2M against UI Goku and he does a flip, I die. So now it's just light scaling. All they did was tone down scaling. It losing its medium scaling but still retaining all its other properties. Again, I feel like that's normalized. Like, they just took away one of the things that was really good about it, but it says all these other things that are good about it. I think that's fair. And then his assist. Oh man, his assist, because let me tell you what, he had the dumbest DP assist in the game for real. I mean, maybe you could argue with Roshi. Roshi's been toned down a bit. And I said this time and time again in videos, and like, I did not understand, I could not comprehend how they had the goal to come at Roshi's neck and tone down Roshi in his assist, and then leave UI Goku completely unscathed, just completely untouched. That blew my mind. I literally could not believe that they made that decision. Because here's the thing, even though I wasn't like, listen, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not ecstatic that UI Goku's been nerfed. But if he never got nerfed, it would have been fine by me. I would just continue to keep playing the game, talk shit when I fight him, and just try to get better and better, right? And hope for other characters to get buffed. Speaking of characters getting buffed, we'll get to that in a minute, because that's some things to say about that as well as we go through these notes. But if UI Goku never got nerfed, I wouldn't mind it. But it just didn't make any sense to me that Roshi got nerfed when UI Goku didn't, when UI Goku was a way bigger issue, way more annoying, way more prominent, way more popular, and was on every single team that won the national championship. Every single team. They all played UI Goku. One of them played Roshi. A total of like 2 players were playing Roshi at all, Kazunoko and Lord Knight. And Lord Knight didn't win nationals. You know who won East Coast? Nitro. Who did Nitro play? UI Goku. Whatever. But his assist. I still have to say his assist. Rising Heat is now only visible to jumping attacks, which means that it has head invulnerable, it's not just completely invulnerable, and adjusted Heat's properties as it is now no longer an invincible move, which I believe also means that both as an assist and as his DP, it is no longer this completely invincible move, but it's still a frame 1 anti-air if I'm not mistaken. And then you have Accelerating Battle Spirit, increased landing recovery for Accelerating Battle Spirit, making his super easier to punish. And that's it for UI Goku. So here's the thing, right? Even though I'm going to come across as biased, because obviously my hatred for this character is very clear. We all know how I feel about Ultra Instinct Goku. I think he is no longer arguably the best character in the game. I think before this patch, he was arguably the best character in the game, and I think a lot of people would say that he straight up just was the best character, right? I don't think that argument is there anymore. I think he's still top tier, though. Where I would place him, like, in the top 10 of characters, I don't know. But I think he's still going to be really strong because he still has a ton of bullshit. He can still do almost everything. It's just that now he's a little bit easier to deal with. He's a little less obnoxious, but he still has a lot of really strong tools, really great buttons, that ridiculous jab. Like, he still has everything going for him that he had before. Just, he's a little bit easier to punish on some things, and he just can't get away with doing whatever he wants willy-nilly as easily as he did before. I think he's still going to be really strong. I'm probably still going to find him really annoying to fight, but at least when I fight characters, or when I fight players who aren't very smart, he'll be a little bit easier to deal with, hopefully. But that'll do it for UI Goku. We spent almost 10 minutes just talking about UI Goku, but obviously he's the most prominent character and the one you guys probably want to hear me talk about the most. Anyway, but moving on, we also have some notes for Kid Buu and GT Goku. And I'm not gonna lie, these don't make any sense to me at all. Like, any sense to me at all. Super attacks and meteor attacks for Kid Buu. Reduce minimum damage for all super attacks and meteor attacks. So, while Kid Buu has been the parasite that has continued to live patch after patch after patch, and Kid Buu players always say that Kid Buu's dead now, and he continues to be a top tier character anyway, that everybody plays, especially in Japan, he's persisted, right? So, like, while that is the case, I don't really know if anybody was really, like, what's the word I'm looking for, like, parading that hard, like, you know, screaming from the rooftops. They wanted Kid Buu to be nerfed because, like, Kid Buu just is inevitable. I've always felt like, but this screams to me is like, okay, Kid Buu's like top tier. He's always like on top tier teams. He's always in like the top 8 of like every tournament. He's a really popular character for a reason. How do we tone him down let's reduce his damage, but Kid Buu already did bad damage anyway, and I say bad damage, but like low damage in comparison to a lot of the roster at this point, and I just feel like, I don't know, man, like, as annoying as Kid Buu is and as good as he is, I don't know what I would change about him either, but this just doesn't seem like the right thing to me. I mean, not only did they reduce the damage of his supers, right, but they also shadow nerfed him. It has a stealth nerf where his level 3, it used to be able to hit, you know, your assist and your point character at the same time. It doesn't do that anymore. Kid Buu's level 3 no longer happy birthdays. But what's funny about that is that he's the only character seemingly that was affected by that, because I saw Cloud tested, and I tested it myself, that characters like Android 18 who had supers that would hit both characters still hit both characters. That's really weird to me. I don't know why they would take that from him. I mean, I guess that's another way of toning down the character, but reducing Kid Buu's damage, like, he already did little damage, but I guess it kind of makes some sense, right? Because Kid Buu is really good for mix-up, right? He's got the best mix-up assist in the game, and obviously he gets mixes off EX Ball and other mix-ups as well, where he can do, you know, arm ball, you know, plus assists, like as a point character, he can do an assist in the arm ball, and then jail you, and then get like super jump float mix-ups and everything like that. So basically, you can basically say he's a mix-up character, so like, he's allowed to have low damage because he's going to be able to open you up multiple times. I guess that's the logic behind it. I don't really know, but sure. And then moving on, we have GT Goku. I felt like GT Goku didn't need to be touched at all, I'm not gonna lie. I think the changes that they made to him were fair enough to where they toned him down a lot, but he was still very strong and still played by a lot of players and people online and offline, even though there hasn't been much offline, but like, you know, competitive players and casual players alike. But they nerfed his assist. They changed his A assist to where it now has way less block stun and increased startup. And I just, like, the assist still has good utility, right? But here's the thing, you know, before, like, if you jump and block GT Goku A assist, it would drag you to the ground. You pretty much couldn't do anything. If you block that, boom, you gotta hold that. You're on the ground now, whether they jump in on you or block lower or run up and drag rush, whatever, you gotta figure out what they're gonna do. Now, if you block GT Goku A assist in the air, it has a small amount enough block stun. I could figure out how I want to word it. It has a small amount enough block stun to where you can super dash after blocking it, which you could not do before. And that's a really big deal, because I know a scrub like me is absolutely going to do it. So I hope you're ready to 2H. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. The assist was good. We all called it good. It was annoying to deal with, but like, you just jump over it or crouch under it. Like, I know I'm not very good at that myself, but I certainly wasn't out here asking for GT Goku to be nerfed any more than he already had been. And I definitely don't think the assist was the right thing to do. But that's just my opinion. So yeah, like, UI Goku, yes, they didn't murder the character, but they hit him decently hard enough to where I think he's going to be less of a menace online. And then Kid Buu and GT, I just don't agree with these changes. I honestly don't. And then moving on, we also have Beerus 21, and I believe the last one is a Super Baby. These ones aren't that big of a deal. We have a small change made to Ninja 21 C assist, where they adjusted the damage scaling to match out the scaling for other characters. Sure, I guess maybe she was getting a little bit more damage or a little bit less. I honestly don't know, but it's not that big of a deal. And then you have a quality of life change for Beerus, and they changed his Z assist. So fix an issue in which crouching unique attack would behave strangely under certain conditions, and Z assist now return even during the time freeze when God of Destruction's judgment hits. So these are just more like just small fixes, like not even really like buffs or nerfs. And then finally you have Super Baby 2, where Parasite Takeover, they adjusted the movement of the medium version of the Parasite Takeover to better differentiate it from the light version, and Interceptor Kick is now affected by the decrease in untechable time from being used in combos. And that's it. So you'll notice that there were no buffs at all in this patch. And to me, that is really disappointing, because I care more about weaker characters being buffed than stronger characters being nerfed. I've mentioned this multiple times in videos, multiple times on streams. People are like, what would you nerf about UI Goku? What would you nerf about Vegeta? What would you nerf about Broly? Even though I don't think Vegeta needs to be nerfed, especially in comparison to Broly or UI Goku. But I care more about characters I like, or even characters I don't like, but I think are weak being buffed than characters being nerfed. So while I can't pretend like I'm not excited about UI Goku being toned down, I would also be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed that nobody got buffed. I feel like they keep toning things down in this game more and more and more without adding enough to it to compensate, and making characters more fun to play, and honestly speeding up the pace of the game as well, because like they keep taking out mix-ups and like reducing damage on certain things. I guess taking away the medium scaling of Godly Strike is another example of that, sort of, kind of, but like not quite the same as like removing double supers or taking out mix-ups from level 3s, although that was kind of OD, so like I get it. Bardock and 16 were really fucking people up season 1, but it is what it is. The point is, I wanted to see some buffs, man. I really wanted to see some buffs. I really feel like Goku Black needs some changes, as a monster needs some changes. I really feel like, you know, Trunks could use some changes, Videl could use some changes. But they don't seem to care as much about weaker characters getting stronger as they do about stronger characters being weaker. That's that. And honestly, what this means now with Kid Buu and UI Goku being nerfed, well, UI Goku being nerfed and Kid Buu being nerfed even more, and GT, I really feel like at this point in the game, UI Goku's got to be like, I'm not UI Goku, Z Broly's got to be the undisputed champion, right? He's got to be the best character in the game. I mean, you can argue Base Vegeta, Teen Gohan, and Android 21 are still contenders, but I think Broly is better than all of them, personally. Granted, you're gambling a bit more with him at times, but like, it's Dragon Ball FighterZ. We're constantly gambling anyway. Especially the people I fight. Oh, ranked is a constant gamble. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums up everything. That's just about everything I wanted to get off my chest. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to drop them down below. I'll be replying to a bunch of comments. And I've got a bunch of content I want to get. I know there's been this whole big controversy about Dragon Ball FighterZ being dead or dying, and then there's rollback, and no new season, and no new season, a sequel to the game. And then Gogeta's also out right now on PC and Xbox, and I was excited to play him on PC, and he's gonna be out tomorrow on PlayStation. So like, I got Gogeta stuff coming. We'll talk about the whole FighterZ thing as well. Obviously, more ranked matches, all that stuff is on the way. But yeah, man, the patch is here. UI Goku's dead, but not really. You just actually have to have a bit, not even that much, but just a bit of a brain now when you play him. Just a tiny bit. You kind of have to have at least 5 or 6 IQ points to play UI Goku. And Kid Buu and GT Goku got some nerfs that I really don't think they deserve. And then there's pretty much nothing else of note in this. Really disappointed in the fact that there were no buffs in this, though. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit the like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all those content when I bring you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all of today. And remember, let the capitalists win the bad. Later.